Okay, so in my previous video, I said that I was very disappointed in the DJI Mic 2s. I still stand by that, but as you probably see, I actually have one on my chest right now. I actually went ahead and purchased them. So crazy thing is, I uploaded that video on a Sunday, but I had actually already purchased the microphones. I actually made that video like 4 days before I uploaded it, and I had decided to buy it 3 days later. So yeah, I bought it on a Friday or 2 days later, I can't remember. So I bought it on a Friday and it came on a Monday or Tuesday. I also purchased the DJI, come on, can you focus for me? The DJI Lavaliers. Now I have two of those. The other one's sitting here in the box. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get my hands on two of the Lavaliers. We will be testing those today, but I wanted to test these side by side today just to give you an idea and to really just show you that there is a clear night and day difference between the original DJI microphones and the new DJI microphones. So, okay, in this video, we're not only going to test these side by side, I'm going to put both of the new microphones side by side so we can figure out if there is a difference between transmitter 1 and transmitter 2. I also want to do that test between all the other microphones, so I will do that with the originals. I will test both of the transmitters side by side. I also will test the Wireless Pros, both of the transmitters side by side, just to see, hey, did we miss something with the original ones? Do they have the same issue? Which I highly doubt it. What about the Wireless Pro? Were we so caught up in all the new features, the 32-bit float and time code, did we miss that, hey, one of the transmitters is a little bit better than the other? So, okay, that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so now that you know, hey, we've been testing these side by side, and I should have been going back and forth with the audio, let's jump into doing it strictly with the DJI Mic 2s. Oh, and by the way, we will also test the Lavaliers today. We will see if the Lavaliers make a difference in the sound quality versus just using the transmitter alone. Okay, so in this test, we're going to test both of the DJI Mic 2 transmitters together, because what I've noticed is on the internet, there have been a slight difference in sound quality between the two. So, okay, this is transmitter 1 here. This is transmitter 2. All right, so transmitter 1, transmitter 2. Can you hear a difference between the sound quality of transmitter 1 and transmitter 2? Okay, so that's a quick little test. Let's move on to the Lavaliers right now. Now, my goals with the Lavaliers is to see, being that we know that these microphones sound a little muffled just using the transmitter alone, does the Lavaliers change that? Does it actually give us a bump up in sound quality? So I think what I'm going to do is put them both on at the same time and then compare the two side by side just like we did with these. So to see if, hey, does that also change the difference in sound quality between the two? So we can kill, two birds with one stone. Okay, all right. Okay, so I can't tell you how many times I've made this video. I made this entire video, like the whole thing, with my blue jacket on, and the microphones sounded really, really bad. Like I had to basically have them that thing zipped up all the way in order for these mics to sound good, which is not a knock on these microphones. It's just when when that jacket was flapping over, it was blocking some of the sound, so it was sounding extremely muffled. Okay, but we're gonna get this right. All right, so nothing has changed. Transmitter 1 is right here. Transmitter 2 is right on this side like it always is. All right, can you hear a difference between the two? Now, I'm hoping that they're not sounding muffled. I'm hoping that there is no noticeable difference between these two transmitters here when you attach the Lavaliers. I'm hoping they sound very close to each other when it comes to sound quality. All right, so here is the sound of the DJI Mic 1. Here is the sound of the DJI Mic 2, which that means transmitter. Okay, DJI transmitter 1, DJI transmitter 2. How do they sound? Hopefully they sound the same. Now, one thing I can say, it is a huge up in quality, sound quality, when you do put the transmitters in. So I'm actually really excited about these lavaliers. It's a huge boost in sound quality. Like, it sounds really good. Like, I definitely noticed when I've listened back to these, it brings back some of the low end on these microphones. Like, when you're just using the transmitters alone, I'm not gonna lie, they're just lackluster. The original sound better than the DJI Mic 2s. But it seems like everything seems to change when you put these lavaliers in. They actually perk up and they sound pretty good. Okay, so I think the next thing I want to do is one more thing. I'm not going to do all those other tests because honestly, this should be more about the DJI Mic 2s. No, the originals, we're not going to worry about those in this episode. We're going to compare the Wireless Pro because that's what it's really compatible, or its competition is the Wireless Pro. So let's compare the Wireless Pro with its lavalier system versus the DJI Mic 2 lavalier system. Now, I'm going to say right up front, I haven't heard anything just yet. I haven't even recorded that part. But my prediction is they're going to probably sound close to each other. You probably will notice a difference, but I don't think the gap is going to be as big as you've heard on the internet when it comes to the transmitters alone. Like, I feel like, again, the transmitters, not very good when it comes to the sound. And the Wireless Pro, I think the transmitter sounds good by itself without the lavalier. Okay, let's switch over to that now. Okay, so right now we are recording on both of these transmitters here. So this is the Wireless Pro with this lavalier system, which is about the lavalier system alone is $100 just for the lavalier, but you do get it free with the Wireless Pro. Now here we go, DJI Mic 2 with its lavalier system. I've kind of listened back to these, and when you put the lavalier on this transmitter, the DJI, it sounds just as good, in my opinion. It sounds just as good as the Wireless Pro. They become very competitive when you put both of the lavaliers on. Now, I think this transmitter by itself, when you're speaking into this transmitter, sounds far superior than the DJI Mic 2's transmitter. Now, but when it comes to the original DJI microphone, I think it's very comparable to the Wireless Pro. So, yeah, so this transmitter right here, the original DJI, I feel like it sounds very comparable to the Wireless Pro. This is still a darn good microphone. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's an amazing sounding microphone. Okay, so let's switch back and forth, which we probably were already switching back and forth anyway. So yeah, this is the Wireless Pro. This is the DJI Mic 2. This is the Wireless Pro. This is the DJI Mic 2. All right, so I'm going to keep these on, and we're going to continue to switch back and forth while I give my final conclusions of the DJI Mic 2. Okay, so the bottom line for me is the transmitters are not so good. When you're wanting to speak into the transmitters alone, they're not good. The original DJIs sound way better when we're talking about just the transmitters alone. The Wireless Pros sound way better than the DJI Mic 2s just alone. But here's the thing. To me, what saves the DJI Mic 2s is simply the lavalier system. I think they make up for everything that's wrong with the transmitters at this moment. Now, do I know if the transmitters can be fixed, if there's an issue with the transmitter and why they sound so muddy? I honestly, I don't know. I'm going to leave that to the Curtis Judd, however you say his name. I'm going to leave that to the more professional creators on YouTube. They probably have an ear with DJI and trying to figure out what's going on. All I can say right now, I'm impressed with the lavalier system. It sounds really good with the lavalier system. I would dare say it's comparable to the wireless pros in sound when we're talking about the lavalier systems alone. I think it sounds pretty good. I think the DJI Mic 2, if I remember correctly, has a little bit more low end when we're using the lavalier systems. But I honestly think that is due to the fact that the Wireless Pro's lavalier is a little weird, and it doesn't really face up towards your face. It just points out this direction, which I thought was a really silly design from the beginning. I mean, don't get me wrong, they sound good, but I do think the Wireless Pros are a little bit thinner than the DJI Mic 2s. Now, again, that's if I can remember correctly. I think that's what I remember the last time I listened to these two together. The one thing that really surprised me is the difference between the Wireless Pro and the DJI Mic 2s versus the original DJIs. The original DJIs have a lot of self noise, but it seems that these new DJI Mic 2s and the Wireless Pros, fantastic self noise. It's very, very low. I don't know what the specs are on that, but they sound pretty doggone good compared to the original DJI. Other than that, I mean, man, it's hard not to like the DJI Mic 2s now when you have the lavalier. I think it's easy not to like them when you don't have the lavaliers. Now, and that's the problem too. It's like a lot of people would like to just use the transmitters alone and not deal with the lavalier. That's where I feel like you're going to run into a little bit of trouble for right now. I still think the originals sound way better when you want to speak directly into the transmitter. That's even if you hold this thing like directly up to your face like that. It still doesn't sound very good. I still think the original DJI and the Wireless Pros will give you a better quality sound. Period. If you're wanting to just talk into the transmitters alone. So yeah. That's my 2 cents. Still a little disappointed, but the saving grace, in my opinion, is the lavaliers. The lavaliers are really, really good. Now, comparing the two together, I honestly, to me, it's a toss-up just simply because I'm not an expert. My ears are not like seasoned enough to be able to pick one over the other at this moment. I will leave that to, like I said, the more professional creators in the audio world to determine which one sounds better than the other, because they both sound pretty good to me when we're speaking about the lavaliers alone. So, yeah, if you're excited about the lavaliers, I say it's a good buy. But other than that, I still like the original DJIs, I'm not going to lie, because I am one of those people that just likes to pull one out and talk right into it like this, or just clamp it right here. They sound really, really good, just like that. The originals do. One more thing that I did notice while I was doing this test that I haven't heard many people talk about. When you are recording directly into the transmitters here, and it doesn't matter which one you pick, the Wireless Pros, the original DJIs, or the DJI 2s, you guys might want to start doing that more, because it just sounds way better. For some reason, the sound quality is way better when you record internally. And it doesn't matter if you're recording in 32-bit float or 24-bit, because it was the same case with the original DJIs. The sound quality is night and day. Like for whatever reason, when you're recording directly to the camera, it just changes how these microphones sound, and that's even with the lavaliers in. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. Record internally with your original DJIs or your Wireless Pros, and then compare that to the recording from the camera. You will see there is a night and day difference. So my suggestion to a lot of people is just press the record button, switch that audio out, because syncing is super easy. But yeah, okay, that's it. I'm waiting for all the more professional people on YouTube to really give us their thoughts on it, because I am curious what they think, and hopefully there are some fixes in the works for the DJI Mic 2s. Okay.